both of us can be honest about Trump, and there are those moments where you started to see, dude, come on, it's right in front of you. Come on, man, it's right in front of you. Now, I understand it's 3-on-1 and you're trying to think of your answer as well as respond. But what did you think about the opportunities not taken and what potential explanation there is for it? Is it damaging? What did you think of him not landing the punches that he needed to?
It was devastating. It was so frustrating. He ran for every piece of bait. It was like me taking my dog Strudwick on the side lawn and throwing liver snaps, and he just runs after every single one. You don't have to try. It doesn't matter whether another dog's walking down the street. Like, he is laser focused on taking the bait I have set for him. That was Trump and her last night. I mean, there wasn't one trap she laid that he did not walk into. So it was incredibly frustrating, even on his core issues. I believe there was one exchange where he was asked about immigration. The question was about the immigration bill that didn't go through. All right, that would have been an easy pivot to why immigration is a bad issue for her, not for him. One line about why that bill was bad, and then pivot to why did we get 10.4 million illegals under her and only 2.3 under Trump? Why isn't that the question? Talk about Laken Riley and talk about the 12-year-old girl who just murdered down by the border, whose mother Trump just met. He knows these stories. Instead, he starts meandering and she baits him on rallies. And before we know it, that whole thing got turned into a discussion about whether people are leaving his rallies or whether she has big attendance at her rallies. It was, I will give her campaign and her credit on one thing. They clearly studied what his triggers are, and she pressed all of them, and they worked like a charm. He was triggered by all of them. He couldn't leave them alone, and therefore a lot of time was wasted with him defending himself as opposed to defining and attacking her. So that's number one. Number two, once it became clear that ABC News was entirely in the tank for Kamala Harris, he should have let them have it both barrels.
Yes.
He should have blasted those two and said, this is 3 against 1. That's fine. That's what the American people expect of the media at this point. I'll do it. I'll take all of you on. I understand exactly what you're doing here. And you're not mad about Donald Trump. You're mad about the supporters of mine at home who won't do what you're telling them to do, who don't see you as the authority figures anymore. And why is that? Because you don't understand that, because you spend a whole debate trying to bring up questions about 2020 and climate change, and one about the economy, one about immigration. Where's the question about the transing of children who are just having a difficult time at home and the cutting off of genitals? Where's the question about inflation being at 9% for much of the Biden administration? Why didn't you bring up the 10.4 million illegals, David Muir? Why are you so focused on my language around 2020 and what I did or did not say to a crowd in a rally that I haven't been charged over, that particular rally? Anyway, he wasn't able to do it. And I think it's because somebody probably told him, don't attack the moderators. And whoever told him that was wrong, because that's part of his brand. It's his bread and butter. It's actually why, in part, people fell in love with Trump. Republicans and right-minded independents hate the media. And that was yet another opportunity lost.
So the where to from here? Straight away, you heard people say, let's do another one. That's generally the loser's move, but, they're so full of how amazing are we here. My suggestion, if he does one of these, right? Okay, there's the Fox way of doing things. Fine, good luck if he wants to do it. I think there should be, firstly, I think it should be a YouTube one. And, well, I would give you the whole floor. If they want to pick a couple from the left, couple from the right, from that platform, then I'd be fascinated because some different questions. But what I actually want to see, what I think that the undecided voters, when they were talking in the focus group on CBS, was really interesting, is they want to hear what's your plan, what's your idea, which means town hall. No more journalist gatekeepers. It's, okay, human puppet can say, now please welcome Michelle from Virginia. But that's it, right? No more of this gear, and you just turn around and say,
the problem with that is a journalist has to pick those questions. When those things are hosted, it's a journalist who decides who's going to ask what, and then those questions are fact-checked by the media organization too. Like, no, we can't have a crazy question on this. No, we can't. I mean, so that, I like the idea, but it would have to be raw, and no television channel is going to let it be raw with the voters just asking exactly what they want. And I understand that too, because with all due respect to the American public, some tend to meander, some tend to not get to the point. You know, it could, you know, it could be bad TV, as you know. Yeah, but I do have a thought on how they could do it. First of all, how about just mano a mano? How about just two of them go out on a stage and have at it? That's one option. She would never agree to that. And number two, how about he just says, we'll do a debate. I pick one and you pick one, moderator, at the same debate. I get to pick one and you get to pick one. Mine's obviously going to be very tough on you. Yours is going to be very tough on me. And we'll get after it. Who wouldn't watch that? I think that would be amazing. Every network would take it. But the one thing that cannot happen is another debate on these so-called mainstream channels. They're not mainstream. That's a lie. That's a misbrand. They used to be 50 years ago. They're not today. They are truly state-run media, at least while the Democrats are in control of the state. And so I don't think Trump is going to agree to a second one because I don't think he thinks he can get a fair shot. But if it goes forward, it should be, I think, in one of those two formats.
And also, I mean, the reality that we've seen here is, okay, the debates, both the debates, CNN and ABC, everyone ran them, right? So it wasn't exclusive to those media organisations. So the idea that it has to be the CBS or CNN or Fox or MSNBC thing, reality is you say, look, we're going to agree, we're going to rent a TV studio somewhere and we're going to do it. But I completely love the idea of one of yours, one of ours, because you would get an even run of the dream question that she has to answer, the dream question he has to answer. But I've got to say as well, I mean, again, I like the town hall thing. I'm just going to push back on the idea here, which is that I like the town hall idea because the one person who is just missing from this conversation are normal people, right? So I don't want representatives of normal people, i.e. the media, because they ain't. And obviously, yeah, I'm with you. You can't just, go raw because somebody's going to ask, hey, who's your favourite wrestler? Like, I get it. But, and even if that's not the ultimate way they take each other on, I think that he should do so many town halls publicly on television because it shows he's actually willing to talk to people. She, of course, is going to hide. Now, the other thing I've got to say... the town halls,
they don't move the needle. I'm putting aside your idea of a town hall between the two of them, but like Trump town halls, Kamala town halls, they don't move the needle. People, they don't make news anymore. People, it's like, that's just not, I don't think that's a very effective way of getting your message out. But I do think strong ads are. And the ads, like Team Trump better be trying to clean up the damage from last night with very strong ads right now, showing her laugh at the issue of immigration and laugh at the issue of high inflation and the economy, and showing her personal attacks. And yet, we're going to take the high road and I'm the unity president, all that stuff. There's so much grist for the mill. Because Trump, if you listen to what he said, he really didn't hurt himself in a lot. It's not like Trump had some fall down moment that's going to be played against him over and over and over again. It wasn't like that. It was just, he was in the foxhole. He was surrounded by enemy fire and he was doing everything he could to try to tamp down that one and now that one. And now there's one from over there. So that's kind of how the debate went for him. But there wasn't a big spike the ball moment for her. So she doesn't have that much to work with on the ad front, but he does.
Megyn, we love you. I want everyone every day watch the show. You can find it on YouTube, SiriusXM. If you got it, you don't even need a VPN in Australia right now. I bet the bosses don't know that. Megyn, lovely to see you.
Great to see you too, Paul. See you next week.